Hi, good evening. Welcome to the Early Chat Show with Latha Srinivasan. Um, an awesome Wednesday evening. It's been a nice, lovely day in Chennai. I hope all of you all are doing great. And of course, as usual, hi Tamar. I have a very interesting guest today. She is a chef. She's a financial professional turned chef, so that's very interesting. And I'm very excited to talk to her because I am a foodie and I love food. And she's done some very exciting things in her career, and I thought, we must chat and, find out more. This is, of course, Chef Shri Bala, who many of you may already know. And those who don't know are going to discover more about her. Hi, Shri. How are
Hi,
you?
hi. Wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. Lovely to see you.
Thank you.
So, firstly, I must say congratulations on getting featured with Gordon Ramsay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
He's one of the chefs that I love, and I'm a foodie, though I'm vegetarian. And
Okay.
I follow all these guys, Jamie Oliver, Gordon, Heston Blumenthal. And I used to be a big MasterChef fan till this year when they changed the judges.
Okay.
Yeah. But whenever I travel abroad, I make it a point to go visit, these their restaurants just to see what it's all about. Because I love that world, and I used to write about food. I still do. So the minute I saw that you've actually been on the Nat Geo show with Gordon, I was like, wow, we're a Chennai ponnu, who's become a chef, a finance professional, and she's, with this Michelin star chef teaching him about Indian food. That's like amazing. That's brilliant. So tell me, like, how did that whole thing come about? Of course, I know you went through an audition process,
Yes,
but
yes.
how did you even get to know about it?
I have done a show called Curries of India in
Uh,
India with Chef Kunal Kapoor. I was in the research panel along with Ruchi. She was the
okay.
producer and the director of the show,
Uh,
and I was helping her out with the South Indian food when she was doing 22 episodes, and
okay.
each episode used to trace the history of that particular curry and how the word curry, even the universal word curry, everyone uses the word curry, and how did it originate from that? It goes from the genesis.
Right.
So for the South Indian panel, I was along with her working, and I got featured in two episodes with her, which was
Okay.
one was the genesis of sambar, which I give a logic that it is just not the Marathi version. We had a version of our own that is the ancient from the Sangam literature. I've taken some snippets, and I'm trying to say that it's not just the Marathi version of what is floating in the air right now, saying that Sambaji and all of it. I
Right.
want to say that it is just not that. And the other version was the ancient fish curry. Just like you, I'm also a vegetarian, but I cook non-veg.
Okay. That's wonderful.
So she introduced me to the team in Nat Geo.
Okay.
And then I had an audition with them. And it was all
Okay.
in drafts, and it took about 4 to 5 months, the whole thing. And then we had a recce in December, and the final shoot was in January.
Right. So, everybody has this image of Gordon, like how he is in Hell's Kitchen, and,
Yes,
he's
yes,
always
yes,
shouting
yes,
and
yes.
screaming. He's very temperamental. When you met him, is that the impression you had? How was
No,
he in
no, no, no,
person?
no, no. He's too sweet. He's too sweet. The
Okay.
reason is he's a totally a family man. When it
Okay.
comes to him, as a person, he is family, and he talks about his mother. He talks about his daughter, the newborn son. Just
Yeah,
1 year
yeah.
of his son. And my daughter, just like you, watches all his programs. So she
Yeah.
had written a cute letter to him. And during the shoot, I told him that my daughter has written a letter to you. He was, so totally in awe, and he said, definitely I'll read it. After
Uh,
reading the letter, he said, you connect me to her, and let's talk to her. I said, no,
uh,
right now, we were in Coorg then.
right.
And I said, no, she'll be in her school right now, and they cannot take their mobile to the school. So you won't believe he made a cute audio for him, audio and a video. to
For her.
my daughter Shrija, and he remembered on the last day of our shoot where we had a cook-off. After the cook-off, he called me and said, "Let's do the video now that you told me your daughter will be in school. So let's do a video and you take it along with you." He's such a sweet person as such. We all have
Okay.
a misconception because probably it is all portrayed that way in the TV, but
Yeah.
in person he's very, very nice to deal with. And
Right.
post the shoots, I used to cook food from the crew. So
Uh,
2 days we did have food from my whatever I was cooking for my crew. They
okay.
had come from US. One set of people were from the US
Uh,
and Germany. Then certain team, the entire team, Indian team, were all from Bangalore.
okay. Okay.
So they were
Uh,
all a mix of people.
uh,
So I used to cook for them in the evenings once the shoot is over.
okay. It was very interesting that you ended up teaching him about Indian food.
Yes, yes,
And I also read that, in the final thing they asked you, are you a better cook than Gordon? And you said, yes,
yes,
because
yes.
I'm a mother. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. But did you cook things for Gordon where he said, oh my God, this is amazing. I could never make something like this.
That was the fish curry. The that is not in the show,
Uh,
but in the
uh,
evenings after the shoots, one particular day I did for the crew. I was doing a Banjaram mean varaval. So
okay.
I told him that day that post our shoot I'm going to do this. So he also joined us in the restaurant. I thought he'll take it as it'll be a room service, but he came
Right.
to the restaurant, had it along with us. We all sat together and I made the service team serve it to him. And he
Okay.
wanted it little, the spice levels he wanted. I had toned it down.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would have cooked the way we cook the typical, peppery red chilies and all. I thought, the team, they wanted it little less. I didn't know his palate. So he
Right,
said
right.
he wanted it little, the spice levels to go up. That was the
Okay.
comment. Otherwise, he liked it.
Okay. So going back a little, you're a finance professional.
Yes,
What
yes.
made you change, your whole life? Was cooking your passion and you decided, no, I should get into it? How did that
Yes, yes,
happen?
yes. Yeah. Actually, I started cooking from the age of 9, and I used to always hijack the kitchen from my mom and not let her the kitchen. She was very frustrated because see, any woman would not let the kitchen to the other person, even if it's a daughter. Most
Right.
of the time, I would just say, "Amma, I'm cooking today."
Uh,
And post my schooling, she said, "You are so interested in cooking. Why don't you?" Anyway, the family was Chadakonan's family. All my
uh,
cousins, maybe a majority of them are Chadakonans. She
uh,
wanted me to do something else. And she said, "Why don't you do something? Why don't you become a?" She didn't know a word called chef and all existed. She
right.
said, "You become a hotel cook." So that time, probably I don't know if there were private colleges, and not many in our family even thought of this particular profession. Somehow, someone told me, and I took a bus. I always have been, like Chennai 28. My pin
Right.
code is Chennai 28, and someone told me you'll have to go to.
I used to live in Mandavili also, by the
Oh,
way.
okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
My pin code is Chennai 28. So, I went to this IHM and I said, I had taken my neighbor with me because those times, this OMR used to be very scary. That place
Right.
used to be very scary.
Yeah.
I'm talking about 1992. And as soon as I finished my schooling, and they said, there's no, I said, you have to give me what is the procedure to join, and I need a vegetarian course. They said there is nothing like a vegetarian course. So when I came back and told my mom, she said nothing doing. We can't go and join that. Better go into the same route.
Uh,
And but always I used to be somewhere or the other during my CA days. Lot of travel, and I will always post the audit work is over. I'll have friends around in the in whichever city I go. Because people then used to come to Chennai to have their education in center. There never used to be a CA center other than Chennai. The
right.
known centers. I'm talking about 95, 96 time and all. Majority of the people used to come to Chennai and have their courses. From deep, entire Kerala used to come to Chennai. And from Karnataka, deep Karnataka also, the rural side also, they will come and stay in, they'll take an apartment, they'll share an apartment, and they used to
Right.
do CA courses. So in all the places I used to have friends. So, and I used to be put in internal audit. Internal audit is a very, very boring thing where it will be a mundane exercise of morning, you will go to at 9 o'clock and your work will get over at 5:30. And
Right.
the whole day you're free after that. And if it's in Kerala, the life is after 5:30, it's like
There's nothing.
very, yeah, very, really tough to go through. And there was not much of cable. Cable TV was just starting.
Yeah.
So I used to get into the friends. I used to go to my friend's place and get into their kitchen and start learning. Even though I'm a vegetarian, I used to learn non-veg food also in their house when they are cooking. That's how I picked up all the other state food,
Right.
and it's been there in me. And I, 2003 and 2000, between 2003, 2013 and 2015, I had a major issues in the family in the sense I lost my father and immediately lost my mom.
Oh,
And,
okay.
the whole life was upside down. And I said, without any clue, I resigned my job. I wanted to show my anger somewhere. So
Right.
I resigned my job. I was the CFO of a law firm. I'm still working there even now. I
Okay.
resigned. I resigned as the head finance there, and my boss did understand. She said, "Okay, she's going through some, personal problems." So what she told me was, "You take a sabbatical. We will think over it." No, I said, "No, ma'am. Once I've resigned, it's resigned. Like I can't, after that I can't come back." Then she said, "Okay, let's think about it." And I had no clue as to what I'm going to do after resignation. And I'm a hyperactive person. I can't sit idle. So one month, something or the other, cleaning, eating, and all I did. After that, I got really bored, and I used to cook and post in Twitter. And that's how I became friends with a chef in Oberoy's,
Right.
Chef Ashish Basin. Right now, he is in Leela.
Huh.
And that's how my food journey started. I
Okay.
said people are always cooking, Punjabi food, and he's a
Yeah.
Punjabi. I told him if it is, any food promotions in any hotels, it's only a Punjabi festival, and nothing is happening other than that. There are
Right.
so many things which are happening in India and especially in South,
South.
and
Yeah.
many people, there is a misconception that people eat only idli and dosa and few Chettinad dishes and Kerala dishes. With that, people think the South Indian food is over. That is
Right.
not the case, and that's how my whole journey started. And I'm right now in the old office. I'm a part-time consultant, and I'm
Okay.
continuing to be a chef. And I started off in I started the research in Sangam literature.
Right. Yeah.
And I also wanted to present a PhD. I wanted to enroll myself in a PhD, but what happens is too many restrictions. My papers are withheld now. Like I'm not able to continue. So let's
Okay.
see if I go through.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
from CA, I'm moving to a different department, history department. So the university, the rules are very, very tough to
Strict. Okay.
strict.
Okay.
It's not
Yeah.
strict. It is. They have never come across a situation like me where someone wants to study at this age,
That's okay. I
and
mean,
I
I
don't
think
across.
I think
They are
it'll be
not
brilliant if you are
pardon?
able to do it. I know. I said I think it'll be brilliant if you're able to get the
I
PhD
want to
because
present it as
you
a
know.
thesis, so I've started
Yeah.
and I've collected all the data. Just that officially, I'm not yet able to enroll.
Yeah. So I'm sure something will work out soon. Don't worry
Definitely, yes.
about it. Yeah. But in 5 years, you've had a fantastic trajectory in terms of,
Absolutely.
being a chef because you started quite late. You
Very
didn't
late,
do the
yes.
usual, working in the hotel as a, they usually start with the bartans and,
Yeah, yeah,
then become
yeah, yeah.
a sous chef. I mean, you don't have any of those. You
No,
directly,
no, no. Directly.
yeah. And so I think you're very lucky in that sense. And also
Absolutely.
it speaks about your talent as well, because I don't think if you didn't have the skills, I don't think you would be where you are. But now you don't work full time in a hotel, right? You do special workshops and food shows and promotions across the ITCs and the
Yes, yes.
Tajas and so on and so forth, right? Is that the space you want to be in? You're very comfortable doing these
Yeah,
kind of
absolutely.
promotions,
Yes, yes. The reason is you have your own freedom. See, what
right?
happens is the moment you become an employee of an organization, because I have worked in an organization, I'm still working, so you know how it works. And
Right,
always there is the possibility of you being boxed into one silo.
right.
That when you're a free bird, it's always better. The reason is you have your own freedom. And for me, unless and until I keep on reinventing myself, I'm not going to be interesting.
Right.
And when it comes to, I'm just not doing Tamil Nadu. I'm doing the entire southern peninsula, and so much to learn. As many people tell you, every 50 kilometers the flavor changes. So
Changes.
so
Yeah.
much, so much to learn. And I never get bored of learning. So what happens is from what every year I am learning extra, so that next year I am prepared for the next promotion. And I don't repeat when it comes to food promotions. Also, I have never repeated any. In I have done about 18 food promotions till now.
Huh.
And I have never repeated myself in all the 18 promotions. Something
Okay.
or the other, there will be maybe one or two dishes will be common. But
Yeah.
once I was doing the contemporary food, then I moved. I created a niche for myself, and I went into this Sangam literature. Once, three things was little similar: black pepper, Sangam, and then I did Deccan, all of it. Then I said, okay, this also is getting little repetitive. So
Repetitive.
immediately, ITC was Rajopacharam, where we did Imperial Kings.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah.
Of Vijayanagara. Then we did Kakatiya. We took that was little difficult because Kakatiya as such does not have too many literature available. I was hunting in Hyderabad libraries and historians. They couldn't give the food part of it, but
Right.
somehow we did manage about three, four. And Chef, Praveen Anand helped me a lot in curating the whole
Oh, he's
menu.
very good. Yeah, he's
Yeah, yeah.
very good. Yeah.
So that again was like 2 months. We did the our research paper kind of a thing, and we put, and I gave him about 80 odd dishes. From that, it was narrowed down to 20, and with that, we did in four dakshins.
Okay, okay.
So I don't repeat. And
That,
next, so if things all becomes new normal,
yeah.
totally new concepts can be brought out from South India.
Okay. So you're absolutely right when you say, South Indian food has so much, and every state is different. Even within a state, we have different kinds of cuisines.
Yes,
If you
yes,
take Tamil Nadu itself, if you take Karnataka, if you take Andhra, it's
yeah,
very different,
yes,
based on the terrain, whether
yeah,
it's
correct.
near the sea, whether it's the mountains. There's
Yeah,
so much.
absolutely.
Even according to caste, we eat differently,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes,
Even the way we serve those dishes are different. It's not the same way.
absolutely.
So there's so much. It's so rich. Have you never thought about doing all the research that you're doing? Don't you want to bring out like a set of cookbooks based on all this?
See, actually, you know what? I started as a writer. I have published two fictions.
Yeah, yeah, that I know. But you've not written a cookbook.
No, the problem is somehow what happened was I met a wrong publisher, I would say, and
Okay.
I got caught in that, or if you can use the word, the current word, nepotism kind of a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was all the rosy picture when we start off with them, and then there was a very bad editing and horrible output.
Okay.
I did way back in 2013.
Right.
I published my first book, so that has given me a very very bad wound in myself. Probably if I meet, rather than me going and dumping on a publisher, if the
Right.
publisher is willing, that it should be the reverse here. Only
Okay.
then, otherwise, self-publishing, I don't believe in self-publishing. The reason is you'll have to literally push yourself and, make yourself tell people buy the book, and you sending WhatsApps to all the
Yeah,
people saying
yeah.
I published a book. So please buy, please buy. I don't want to be, the begging bird.
Yeah.
So that wound in me has never made me, approach any of the publishers, because I feel it is definitely not a fair deal how the way they treat you in the publishing thing also. Sorry if I'm
Okay.
harsh, but that is the
No,
truth.
no,
I
I
have.
mean, it's based on your experience. So
Yes,
obviously,
yes,
you've
yes.
not had a good experience in that
Yeah,
space.
good
So, yeah.
experience. And even the literary agents and all, they just such harsh replies. When they reply to you,
Uh,
they won't even give you address you. Like when you have written, a mail to them, they can reject your script, but they
right.
will, not even you addressing you with your name. That is how they treat you, even the literary agents, whomever I have
Right.
dealt with. So I said,
Right.
okay, maybe public, but I love writing. I've written a lot,
Okay.
but I've not gone into it.
Okay, okay. So that is something pending. I hope that happens soon.
Hopefully.
You know, but now that you've started doing these food promotions specifically with the
Yes,
five-star hotels, you've worked with Gordon, you've worked with some of the best chefs in India. Um,
yes,
uh, and the culinary space, you know how it is in India.
yes.
Why do you think? Because when you look at India, when you look at the chefs, it's not that people are not skilled, but you can count on your fingers the number of chefs who are known worldwide who have Michelin stars. It's about six or
Yes.
seven, right? Why are our chefs not, at the global level? I mean, we are fantastic cooks. Even our home cooks are fantastic, right? But
Yeah,
as
yeah.
far as the cooking world goes, why is it that our chefs are not there along, with the best in the world? There are not
We,
many.
No, that is like a mixed bag. I would put it this way. Right now, there are many people who are coming out and promoting ourselves. The big problem with us is we don't promote ourselves. In the sense,
Okay.
we don't have pride in our own food. When we have to say that this is my food, I eat it this way. If I'm eating with my hand, there is a pride in saying that I eat with my hand. I needn't
Right.
tell people that I need a fork and a spoon to eat my food. I can go, globally I can tell people, in my culture, this is how I eat my food, and I can eat it with my hand. Why I eat with my hand also, there is an explanation we can give.
Right.
That way, we don't have a pride in ourselves when we promote our food. The lack of confidence in us. Always we think their food is superior and our food is little less.
Inferior.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the change has to come from within. That is one. And also, when it comes to, probably the past 15 years, I think because of all the TV shows, the chef community has got a very good recognition and respect in their own family. Otherwise, you see, it's always a demeaning way they will
Yeah.
call. He's a cook
Samekaran.
or she's a cook.
Yeah.
Samekaran. You
Yeah.
know, yeah,
Yeah.
and even I faced it. I faced it when I got into the industry. They were
Yeah.
like, passing CA. They used to ask me, "Do you know how difficult it is to pass CA?" I say, "Yeah, it's difficult." After passing CA, you want to become a cook?
Yeah.
So that is there in our culture. Even today,
Yeah.
I have come across many people saying that they will not get the bride because they are chefs.
Okay. Okay.
So
So there's a stigma
slowly,
socially.
there's a
Yeah.
social, it's an eco-social issue which we
Yeah.
are embroiled in, I would say. We
Okay.
should have pride in ourselves, is what I feel. Automatically, we will elevate ourselves.
Okay. Now, especially after you did the Gordon Ramsay thing, there are, suddenly that you are in the spotlight. There are a lot more people, talking to you, interviewing you. And, but do you feel like, people recognize you only after this? Like, you've been doing so much of good work, and it
Hmm,
happens
hmm.
not just to you, it happens to a lot of other
Lot of people, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
people, right? That we don't give people their due, especially chefs. right?
Yes, yes,
Do you think, I'm not talking about becoming a chef, but even once they becoming a chef, like I know Chef Praveen Anand,
yes, yes, yes.
and because I've met him so many times, I've interviewed him and so on and so forth. But how many other people know him, right?
Exactly.
It's not like people don't really take interest in the culinary space. Do you think that's true?
Absolutely. Definitely, yes. As I
Hmm.
told you, there is a social stigma, like, that respect for a person because he's a creator. A person
Right.
who's cooking is a creator.
Hmm.
Even though you give me ingredients, I will, five different people are given the same ingredients, the same measurements and everything. And when each one's output will be different because there is something in the hand which makes it very, very tasty.
Right.
You need to respect that. And
Hmm.
people should appreciate that.
Hmm.
Never demean a person. That is what is happening. If
Right.
that is not there, automatically it will lift.
Okay. So this episode is airing next month, or is it this month?
Yeah, next month in India, and probably in 2 weeks' time in this is the fourth episode is going on. The India episode is, I think it is the sixth. Right now, three episodes are over. The
Okay.
fourth and the fifth and sixth is India.
Okay, okay. So now that you've worked with Gordon, obviously the international community will also be, people will recognize you. You've worked with some of the most talented chefs. What are you looking forward to doing next?
See, for me, I never plan. I go with the flow, and I always want to. My core won't move from South food, Southern
Right.
India food. So
Hmm.
in this, I'll keep on probably researching more.
Hmm.
And what else can I say? Because right now in 2020, we can't even say after
Yeah,
5 years down the line what you want to be.
it's
I
been such
probably will be
a
continuing the same format and giving you new food within from South India.
South India. Okay, one thing I
Yes,
wanted
yes,
to
yes.
ask you, which I
Yes,
forgot. See, I know chefs who don't eat non-veg, but they do cook vegetarian, I mean,
yes, yes.
non-vegetarian food. But do you ever taste it or you don't
I
taste it at
taste
all?
it.
Okay,
I'm not. I can't tell you that I don't taste it. Nothing like that. I touch
okay.
the meat
Yeah,
and
obviously.
I touch. I taste the curry. The reason is there should be a self satisfaction in a person.
Right.
And
Huh.
the way we see as a preference, because the way I've been brought up in a family, it's a vegetarian Orthodox
Right.
family where
Yeah.
even onion and garlic my granny won't eat. I'm from such a family.
Huh.
And out of passion, I went out of passion into food. And after
Hmm.
getting into food, I cannot say, I won't touch this, I won't touch this. Then don't come. Better be
Right.
a CA.
Yeah.
Having gone there, you should have your own conscience saying yes or no. And
Right.
my conscience told me that when you are serving, because you are serving the food to someone who is believing you and eating it,
Right.
that
Right.
dharma should be there in us.
Right.
So I do taste the curries before sending it out. But if you
Uh-huh.
ask me to sit and eat a big plate of meal, I'm not able to
You
eat it.
don't. Okay. Okay.
No,
So,
I tried, but I am not able to.
okay. Yeah, I think,
The mental,
yeah,
yes.
it is.
That's all.
Um,
So I know
uh,
the flavor. Each and every ingredient, I know the flavor.
okay, okay. I think that's brilliant because even if you don't eat it, at least you know the taste, the suvai,
Yes,
right? Which is
definitely.
very
Because
important.
unless and until you know the taste, how do I improvise? I can't keep on cooking the same old curry in a fish. Unless
Yeah,
and until I know how it tastes. So,
right.
and also what happened was in probably initially when I started off, I was still
Hmm.
very, very inhibited in tasting the curries.
Tasting.
And
Huh.
luckily, what happened was in our homes and all, we'll cook food without tasting because we always used to offer it to God. So with
Right.
the, we're all born sniffer dogs. So with the flavor, you can find out if there is salt or less chili and all of it.
Right.
Because we are offering it to the god and to the crow only will be eating in our homes and all.
Right.
So I was trained like that and I had that flavor in me.
Hmm.
Subsequently, when I had to do something other than a normal dish which I've learned, which I am
Hmm.
improvising,
Hmm.
then those times, you'll have to, unless and until you taste at least a small bite, you won't know what to do
You
with it.
won't know what it is. Yeah. By now, how many recipes would you have put together? Do you have an idea?
Yeah, probably. See, Sangam alone, I have got about 70 to 80 recipes.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
I've curated, Sangam, the way I did Sangam was, if I can take a minute and
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
you,
sure. Tell me.
that
Yeah.
there is no recipe books as such when it comes to Sangam. What happens is, each king would have written about how he treated his guests, and there'll be references like that. And in that period, in the time frame, you need to know what are all the ingredients available during that time
Right.
period, I would say. So what I did was, I've taken those two and I've brought the recipes together. These are all, I
Okay.
really don't even know if that is how it looked, or, the ingredients also, the color could have changed. Just like we have evolved, the height
Right.
is increased for an average Indian right now. Like
Right.
that, the ingredients also, the color or the texture would have definitely gone, so many things have changed, and genetic modifications are all happening.
Right.
So what I have done is, if it is a millet, yes, this is a millet available, then the black pepper, then these spices. So I brought and I've curated it like that. Whereas when it comes to Vijayanagara, you have books and
Right.
references. That was easy. But the only problem there was no weights and measures when it comes to Vijayanagara also. The people who have written the books also have assumed that you know how much to put, what
Right.
to put, how
Right.
much, that kind of
Right.
a thing. So these are all there. So I would say, and I also, what happens is, when I take like I told you, flavor profiles, I create my own recipes. For instance, I am very close with one chef here in Chennai, where we keep on talking about food, which is Chef Harish Rao. So we were discussing about it, and recently I was talking to him with nungu, that is ice apple.
Yeah.
We
Nongo.
have we spoke about it, and I told him, and he improvised it, and he came out with a dish which is like stuffing the ice apple with prawns,
Okay. Okay.
with the basic ingredients, and we wanted to keep it very subtle, at the same time a blast of flavors also, in the sense
Okay.
a peppery dish, at the same time the flavor of the ice apple and the prawns. So
Okay.
like that I keep coming with dishes. So if in
Okay.
effect I can say about close to 350 to 400 recipes, of
Okay.
which chutneys alone I'll have 50.
Wow. You
And
should write a book soon. Because I'm
rasam.
sure people are dying to, make all
Yeah,
this because
yeah. As I
yeah,
told you, the wound is there in me. So,
yeah. But
and rasam, I
huh,
can anything and everything. I'll make a rasam.
okay,
You
that's
give,
brilliant.
I'm an unorthodox cook. I have not gone into a culinary college, but I do teach in the colleges now. So
Okay.
what happens is, when I look at the ingredients, I can say these two, the pairing of ingredients I know in my mind.
Right.
The reason I cannot cook by reading a recipe. For me, I have to look at something and then cook. So
Okay.
when I look at an ingredient, immediately I say, I can do this, I can do that.
Right.
That's why I said, as a mother, you're
Huh.
always a warrior when it comes to, and the survival of the fittest happens.
Yeah.
And when you get into the kitchen, when you don't have any one ingredient, automatically your mind will say what else to do. Like
Right.
that, iterating, and rasams, I can do n number of rasams.
Okay. So what do your kids say? Like, do you cook like this at home every day? You
Always,
keep
yeah.
experimenting and
Yes, yes,
okay,
yes.
okay, yeah.
So the elder one, just like me, she also wrote her law exam, and that is entrance, and got through
Okay.
in law. And I
Uh,
told her to go to bank. She didn't get through in Chennai Government College, but in law Bangalore, she got into a private admission in a very reputed private college. She
right.
refused to, mainly because she said, you come and cook, or you move your base to Bangalore. I was in Bangalore for 4 years. She said, you
Okay.
move your base. I said, I'm not permanent with you. Once you grow up,
Yeah.
uh, to, she said, no, I can't eat hostel food. I said, you're missing your hostel life. She said, no, I would want your food. So what I've done is when I travel, I have trained. I took a raw, like who has never learned cooking. I didn't want
Okay.
a cook. I didn't train a cook. So what I
Okay.
did was I trained my maid to cook my food. That was more easier than undoing. Is very very difficult.
Difficult. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I did was I took a raw person, like she was my domestic helper.
Okay.
So I taught her food the way I cook, and I've trained her. So when I travel, and last year was literally I was living out of suitcase. 2019
Okay.
was so busy for me.
Uh,
Hardly in 60 days I would have been in Chennai, entire
okay.
365 days.
Okay.
So the maid was doing all these things what I was. So
Okay.
I trained her like that.
Super. Now, my last question would be, what do you think the best dish of yours is?
Personally, bisibele bath.
Okay.
No, I don't. See, wherever I've eaten, whichever place I've eaten, somehow I feel mine is better.
Okay. Okay.
Next will be the fish curry I do.
Okay. Okay. So you think those are the two best dishes of yours
Yes.
that
No, as a mother, everything is your baby, but iconic means when it comes to somehow I feel mine are best.
okay. So, and finally, like after the lockdown and after things hopefully come back, not the normal but the new normal, what are you looking forward to?
Probably little permanency rather than too much of a travel.
Okay.
So maybe you can expect something in those lines of me being more in Chennai and getting into a restaurant or so.
Okay. So you might open your own restaurant.
No, not definitely not my own. Probably I
Okay.
might collaborate with someone.
With somebody. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So that's brilliant news for at least the people in Chennai. That they get to taste your food on a more regular
yes.
basis. Thank you so much, Sri, for joining
Welcome,
me and
welcome.
chatting. It's amazing and congratulations once again. I
Thank you,
hope
thank you.
you do great things and definitely looking forward to your cookbook whenever that is.
Yeah, definitely. Sure.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you for
Take
this
care.
opportunity.
Take care.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Bye,
Take
bye.
care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.